Hi, welcome. Hope Zvara here, creator of Core Functional Fitness. And today's practice is going to be dedicated towards the postnatal mother. Being about 8 weeks postnatal myself, I find that it's important to really start to re-engage the core, yes, in exercise, but also start to integrate it more into our everyday life and those movements and those practices. So the things that we're going to be doing today are really going to help you equip yourself with starting to integrate your core into everything that you're doing. Carrying baby, whether it's in your arm or in a sling, carrying groceries, getting up off the chair, rolling out of bed, whatever it is, standing during the day. And so core work is really essential to everything that we do. So the practice today is going to be safe for everyone 6 weeks post-op. I just want to encourage all the new moms out there that if you haven't yet seen your OB to get clearance, I'm going to encourage you to do that. This practice is going to be safe for those that have just had a C-section and those that have also had a vaginal delivery. And remember, as always, to make sure that you modify, and more is not always more. So we're really going to focus on form and function and feeling rather than just going for that no pain, no gain. I can't wait to have you with practice. Namaste. Let's begin. For today's practice, you will need a mini ball. And so for a little mini ball etiquette, just make sure they're always have a little bit less air in them. You never want to overinflate a mini ball, because what will end up happening is that the mini ball will be in charge of the exercises instead of your actual core and your trunk and your entire body. And we obviously want you to be in charge because you're not going to be carrying this thing around all day. All right, and you may find that a second mini ball or a foam block or a rolled up, taped up towel may also be appropriate if you're finding that you need to put something between the knees at any one point. So just know that you may need some extra toolage as well. Let's begin by turning sideways and placing the ball behind the sacrum snugly. With the feet in line with your sit bones, place your second prop between the knees and just give it a nice healthy squeeze. Sitting high on the sit bones, relax the shoulders, and now really focusing on those pelvic floor muscles. So we're focusing on the anal sphincter, which is back by the tailbone, the vaginal passageway, which is the birth canal, and also up by the pubis bone, the urethra. This is going to be that area that we tend to contract to help control our bladder. And for moms, especially that have had vaginal delivery, this is really going to be an area of concern for many of us. I just want to point out that it is not normal when we little tinkle our pants, when we cough, when we sneeze, when we run, jump, when we do anything of like that. There is obviously a healing time period, but really we should be working towards that goal of no leakage. All right, so to begin, sitting nice and tall, hands under the knees. We're not death gripping, but we have a nice secure hold. Inhale through the nose, keeping the length of the spine. Natural curves are honored. Exhale, gently press the sacrum into the ball, feeling the pelvic floor contract, which is also going to make you feel like you have a little bit more of a contraction underneath the navel line without rounding out the spine. For those of us with a stiffer lower back, and this doesn't move a whole lot, you're going to find yourself compensating a lot with rounding in the shoulders. Really try to watch for that. So deep breath in on the sit bones. Exhale, contract the pelvic floor. That's what makes you tip your pelvis. Deep breath in again. Hug against your green ball. Arms out in front. Now lean back about 45 degrees, continuously kissing that green ball. Let's start with a little bit of up-down. Keeping that internal contraction. Inhale, lifting the arms up only as high as you can keep good posture. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, no hiking the shoulders, and exhale. Notice if you're biased to one side of the rectus or of the deep transversus. Hug against that ball in front. Inhale, and exhale, pelvic floor really contracts. If your hip flexors tend to overwork, as for many moms now, postnatal, they find that happens a lot. I really want to encourage you to use something between the legs. Inhale, I can just lift my arms a quarter of the way or halfway. I only want to lift as high as I can feel successful. Again, more doesn't always equal more. Inhale, breathe wide into the lungs rather into the belly. Exhale, engage. 2 more. Inhale, and exhale. Last one. Exhale. Now inhale, prepare. Exhale, use your trunk to float yourself back up. We'll do a little hip release. Bottoms of the feet together. Sitting nice and tall, just release your sitting bones. If your hips are a little tighter, press the heels out a little farther. Keep length in the spine as you fold forward, possibly extending your arms out in front, really encouraging just a little bit more back length. Now focus on breathing and spreading your upper back muscles. And now slowly roll back up, drawing the knees back together. I just want to mind you that working at a 45-degree angle like we are right now is going to be way more effective than doing sit-ups flat on the ground, because we get flexion and extension, and when you're flat on the ground with a sit-up, you only get flexion, which on a functional level, you're just reiterating the fact that we tend to hunch forward and collapse the front of our body in most of our daily functions, unfortunately. So we really want to get that extension, and that's actually when your core works harder than what it does when you flex. All right, let's come back into that nice seated position. Ball goes between the inner thighs or just to point the inner knee. Nice and tall, ground through the feet. I'm not arching in my lower back. Exhale, pelvic floor contracts, and that's what tips my sacrum into the green ball. So a little bit of mind-body movement here. Engaging on the green ball in front, and now drawing back again to 45 degrees. Arms come out in front. Now let's slowly lift the arms a little bit higher. Plug your shoulders back. Let's open and close. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, imagine a sweater coming together being buttoned. Exhale. Inhale. Now add just a gentle little squeeze on that ball in front of you. Anytime we do a deduction, so closing with the legs, we're going to really support the pelvic floor, especially after labor and delivery. Inhale and exhale again. Imagine that sweater being buttoned. Inhale, exhale. There should be no strain, no funkiness going on in the neck. Otherwise, the arms are opening too wide or your angle is too high. Inhale, I have a really open front chest. Exhale. Exhale. Your heat in your body should be rising right now. 3 more. Breathe. Pelvic floor engages. Don't forget about that. Let's do 1 more. Deep breath in. Exhale. Lift with your core. Nice job. All right, so now we're going to go back 1 more time. So this is going to be a 3-set series. Sitting nice and tall, hands under the knees if necessary. And depending on where you're at, depending on what kind of labor and delivery you had, what type of physical activity your body has been getting on a regular basis, either before pregnancy or now after pregnancy, I just really want to encourage you to make sure that you modify or lessen the repetition. I want you to feel successful in your body, and if we really listen to the body, we're going to make headway quite more quickly than if we just keep on forcing and using all the wrong muscles. So just something to think about. All right, nice and tall. Exhale, little tilt. Pelvic floor initiates. We're going to go back again 45 degrees. This time, genie style, arms keep the elbows off the chest. No collapsing in that mid-thoracic region. So now imagine as though you have someone's hands around your waist or a plunger at your belly. Exhale, lift, sitting tall, not pulling forward. Inhale, with that tilt, hug against your green ball in front. Let's come back into extension. Exhale, up, sitting nice and tall. Inhale and exhale. Going further back isn't always the better option. Inhaling, breathe into your rib cage. Exhaling, nice. Now, if you're recent in your postnatal, you're going to find that if you go too far back, you're going to feel that pressure against your bladder. So I really want to encourage you, just 45 degrees, enough to feel maybe that little earthquake, that little quiver. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And I am right along with you here, being 8 weeks. My son Ivan is 8 weeks old. I am just getting back into the groove of things again. Exhale. Let's go 2 more here. I'm just really trying to pace myself here, really trying to focus on what's lifting me rather than just doing the exercise. And let's do 1 more. I'm adding that little bit of tilt so I don't feel hip flexor pain and I can really initiate that pelvic floor. Release the ball, bottoms of the feet together, rocking side to side, release the sitting bones. And now again, with length, move your body forward, arms extend out in front, broaden the back, and focus on breathing into your kidneys. Slowly roll yourself back up and bring the knees together. Nice job. All right, we're going to swing around into a tabletop position. I just want to put a disclaimer that tabletop position may not be appropriate for moms that have had the stasis recti of 2 fingers widths or more. So as we continue to do appropriate exercise and appropriate movement in our everyday life, that the stasis recti is going to slowly close. Now, if we're doing things like sit-ups, so coming with no extension and improper flexion, we're actually going to be forcing that diastasis recti open. So we really want to think about things that cross the midline of the body when it comes to diastasis recti. But again, in a tabletop position where gravity is coming down through our back, we just really want to be sensitive to that. If you're not sure if you have diastasis recti, make sure you definitely contact your medical professional and talk to them about that. All right, so tabletop. Hands and knees, fingertips wide, folds of the elbows forward, nice long spine, neutral pelvis, uncurl the toes. Awesome, deep breath in, and as you inhale, bend your elbows, curl your toes. Let's move into a nice little cow's pose. Exhale, pelvic floor initiate. So my pelvic floor contracts to actually tip my pelvis, lean back, chin to chest. Bend the elbows, imagine going through a ring. Open through the chest, pull back on the hands, inhale, and then exhale again. Pelvic floor initiates, inhale, and exhale. 2 more for 5. And then back into tabletop. A movement that I like to call little table tick-tock. Engage on the green ball or block between the thighs. Keep that engagement. Spread the fingertips wide, broad back, pelvic core contracts. So now I'm going to lift my knees up about 1 inch off the mat. We're just going to do about a 3-breath hover and hold to start. So deep breath in, exhale, initiate the pelvic floor, lift the knees. Let's hold and breathe. No hunching. Press into your fingertips. Knees down, bend your elbows. Inhale, cow's pose. Exhale, cat. All right, so now the knees are going to swing side to side like a pendulum, but I want you again to think about that natural waistline being what's lifting the legs to the right and to the left. Try not to push your booty to the sky. Again, less is more. I want you to really feel like your waistline is what's doing the movement, and even more so that deep transversus. That's our deepest core muscle. All right, neutral pelvis. Lift the knees 1 inch up off the floor, deep breath in. And now swing your knees up and over to one side. Engage on your green ball. Exhale back to center. Inhale. It's like I'm turning on little discs. Exhale, a good back stretch. Inhale. And exhale, inhale, exhale, keep breathing. If you need to, toe touch down or knee touch down, take a break. I inhale to twist, my exhale so I can engage back to center. 1 more each way. Knees to the floor, inhale, cow's pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, tabletop. Nice job, swing the legs around to the side, come onto your back. So laying down comfortably, not to strain the neck or rectus abdominis. Take your green ball and slide it underneath your sacrum. How do I know where my sacrum is? It's going to be that flat plate-like bone, which is actually 3 bones next to each other. It's probably where your pants are. Now, neutral pelvis. That means pubis bone and hip bones run parallel with the ceiling. If you're not familiar with neutral pelvis or pelvic floor engagement, I want to encourage you to watch some of my other videos that talk more about those areas specifically in the body. All right, shoulders relaxed, palms never face down. Palms face in to start, really open chest. Pelvic floor engages to initiate the movement. Deep breath in, breathe into your lungs rather than your belly. Exhale 1 leg at a time up into tabletop, flex your feet. Deep breath in, nice and steady. Deep breath out. So the more stable I can be, the more core work that I'm engaging. My arms are only there as a gentle assistant. I can take some arm away and checkpoint how well my core is engaging. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Really focusing on drawing the pelvic floor up through the center line of the body. No shoulder tension. And then slowly lowering the feet down. Let's just do a nice full body stretch. Extending the legs, extending the arms. Arc the back, and now just drop your hips side to side. A nice little hip flexor stretch if you're nursing, or even if you're bottle feeding, you're probably doing somewhat of a substantial amount of sitting. So just a nice way to open up the hip flexors. I want to encourage you to try to practice nursing and feeding standing up, just to encourage a little bit more openness in the body, especially in the area of the hips. And then release your arms, bend your knees, bring the legs back to center again. We're going to be focusing again on pelvic neutral. Now we are going to be doing a little bit of flexion, but with our hips lifted, we get 360-degree core work. I want you to focus on not pressing your lower back into the space beneath you, but feeling the pelvic floor rise and engage as your top portion of your abdominals push down. So we're kind of making like a compactor in a sense. Nice. Right hand, well actually we'll do left hand behind the head. Right arm is up in front. I'm going to do the same side as you are. Deep breath in. Now my core lifts. If my neck is straining, I'm not ready for this exercise. Exhale, lift the head and shoulder, keeping the elbow wide. I'm going to actually cross my arm to the opposite side. Deep breath in. And now slowly exhale, just a little curl up. Inhale, fall back. Exhale. So now my pelvis isn't moving at all. I'm really just feeling the initiation come from my trunk. It's not a yank and pull. Exhaling and inhaling. Now I can feel my rectus abdominis transversus contracting. If you can imagine this as a gym exercise, I'm sure you would be yanking and pulling by now. But I want to encourage you to really feel and keep the pelvic floor alive. 5 more. Again, if there's neck strain, you're not ready for this exercise. And slowly down. Arms come overhead, arc the back. And then back to neutral again, release the arms. If your ball moves, which it may, please take the time to readjust it so you feel totally secure on that green ball. All right, neutral pelvis. This time left hand comes behind. Oh, let's switch. Right hand comes behind. Slowly, nice deep breath in. Pelvic floor contracts. I'm going to use that deep transversus and upper rectus to lift rather than my neck and upper chest muscles. It's a slight reach across the center line. Exhale. The bottom of my shoulder blades are staying anchored. Exhale. So it's more so imagining my left rib coming towards my right hip without moving my pelvis. No pressure down on the pelvic floor. Exhale, just a mini little exhale. My head is cradled in my hand. There's no neck strain. Four more. If you find that you can do 3 successfully or 2 successfully, encourage yourself to do that. And release down again, full body stretch. Really create some length, drop your hips side to side. Keep breathing. And then release your arms down, bend your knees, lift your hips. Hips go to the floor, knees into the chest, rock side to side. Feel the sit bones move in that glute tissue for a lot of space here. And then rolling off to the side. Use your top hand, press yourself up for support. And we're going to go back to that 45-degree angle again. So here, ball goes tucked behind the sacrum, green ball between the knees. We're now going to work with a rotation. So for those of you that have had a C-section or have dystasis recti, you're going to find this maybe challenging but really beneficial because we're trying to merge that rectus split and really focus on that area in which you were cut. All right, sitting nice and tall on your sit bones, everything goes as before, engaging on the green ball to initiate better pelvic floor work. Keeping the spine tall, exhale, little tilt, initiate through the pelvic floor, and now slowly back on the inhale, we're gonna go genie style arms, keep your elbows off your chest. Deep breath in, breathe into your rib cage, and now slowly turn to the right without moving your legs. Exhale back to center. Inhale, inflate. Exhale back to center. Notice with genie style arms, you can't go as far, but you're really feeling it through your obliques and through that deep transversus. Inhale, use the ball or block between the legs to help keep the pelvis steady. This is a spinal rotation, not a pelvis movement. Many people confuse moving their hips and pelvis for actual spinal work. So we're working those deep spinal muscles, multifidi, erectors. Focus on engaging through the pelvic floor. One more. Inhale and exhale back to center. Remove your ball back into bound angle. Nice and tall. Exhale forward, reach. Roll yourself back up. I'm a big fan of 2-to-1 ratio, and especially for a movement like this, moms are definitely going to benefit for going towards that weaker side. If you're carrying a car carrier, carrying your infant, carrying groceries, carrying your other children, most likely you tend to dominate towards one side. So it's really important to start to figure out which side is that dominant side, and then make sure you pay attention to that weaker side. So that's what we're going to do right now. And by all means, if you find that you're just going to be able to do 2 or 3 or 5, make sure that you do that. So just for the sake of our bodies today, we're just going to do 5 additional movements on that weaker side. So nice and tall, pelvic tilt, exhale, engage on your ball between your thighs, genie style arms, inhale, bring it back. Nice. So I'm going to be moving to my right, so deep breath in and exhale. My arms are not initiating, they're just following. Inhale. Turning my head with to initiate even more spinal work. One more. Inhale, lift with your trunk. Exhale. Nice job. Move your ball, scooch a little bit more forward with the ball at the lower back. Lean back for a nice lordotic stretch. Using my hands for support, bend your knees, roll up your ball for a nice chest opener. Cactus style arms would work appropriately as well. Just really trying to open up through the chest and help to alleviate some of that kyphosis. Deep breath, focus on really lifting through the rib cage, that exaggeration of openness. And now releasing your arms, roll off to one side, bring yourself up to a seated position. A little bit goes a long way. So I want to encourage you to work on some of these exercises, maybe every day, maybe every other day. Listen to your body, but then also in combination with this, get up and walk, get up and move, get up and breathe. Every little bit counts. I can't wait to see you on the mat again. For more information, visit my website at hopecorefitness.com. Or you can check out my studio website at coppertreewellnessstudio.com. I look forward to practicing with you again. Namaste.